Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It is me, your one and only, your girl, your partner in knowledge, me, Lady Mocha. Welcome to Cafe de Paris, where you know I'm always breaking you off with a slice of knowledge, and you know I'm always pour you a cup of truth. First off, let me start off by saying I did my first live show with W the Hell Up 7, known as Mr. Shields. I have to give big ups to him. He is the first black male commentator who respectfully asked me to be a part of one of his live shows. And when I say working out with him, doing the show with him and D-Train, it was so awesome. I had a blast with these guys. They were respectable. They made me feel so welcomed. They treated me like a sister, and I'm looking forward to doing another show with him again. I'm going to leave the link to the first show that I did with him. And unfortunately, I kept getting disconnected because Hurricane Irma affected the area that I'm in. I'm located in Savannah, Georgia. So unfortunately, the Xfinity, my internet provider, they're having a lot of outages, so I kept dropping from the live call, and I was so disappointed because I was actually enjoying talking to him and D-Train, and he actually gave me a donations, and he's supporting my channel. So I think that is awesome for other brothers to look out for black women like me. I mean, I was just beyond ecstatic, letting Mr. Shields and D-Train know I'ma always rock with you guys. Just name the time, name the place, I'ma be there, because I really enjoyed working with y'all. And I can't say that about too many black male commentators. They weren't negative. I felt a very positive vibe. So I got to give a big ups to him. I have to give respect where it's due. Thank you, W the Hell Up 7. You my dude. I look forward to working with you again. So definitely keep in touch with me. I see us doing big things, and I know there's so much I can learn from you. So I had to start off doing that. But on today's menu, we're going to talk about doing bad but bougie. Yes, I know a lot of you guys have been commenting to me and stating that, hey, you're always talking about the project chicks or the crazy chicks, or the low common denominator chicks. But what about these chicks, that got good jobs, got good looks, very independent, some of them even own their own businesses, some of them are college professors, thoughtness is on so many levels. Okay, you don't have to just be living in low income housing with 8-9 kids and 5 or 6 baby daddies to be a thought or low common denominator. You can actually be very professional. You can actually be very attractive. You can actually be a woman that has a boss ass shape, looks good, highly educated, and you can still be considered a thought. These are the ones that I consider basically bougetto. You could be bougie and ghetto at the same time, but the thing about these type of women, they're able to conceal it a little bit better because they have their success to put in front of it. Many of them got more degrees than the damn thermometer. So just keep in mind that, again, thoughtness is on so many different levels. Okay, and we're going to talk about these type of women today. These sophisticated thoughts is what I would like to call them. You can be a thought and sophisticated at the same time, but again, it's easy for these type of women to conceal their thoughtism because they have degrees, they have their own businesses. Some of them are very successful. Some of them even own their own homes, driving nice BMW convertibles, got master degrees, got doctorate degrees, and still in the midst of all of that have just as much issues than a Vogue magazine. Okay, so we're going to talk about the doing bad but bougie thoughts, okay, for today. All right, now keep in mind what I would like for everybody to know. Low self-esteem comes on many different levels. Okay, again, I know I've already said this, but you don't have to be somebody just living in housing and struggling to have low self-esteem. Believe it or not, women who are highly successful, who have a lot of accomplishments, a lot of them, they have low self-esteem issues as well. They have a lot of issues. It's just not as evident because they're on a different scale. Again, a lot of them own their own homes, or either they're in the process of buying their own homes. Some of them got really good professions like CNAs. Some of them are RNs. Some of them may even be lawyers. It's on so many different levels, okay? And the reason I felt it was imperative that I talk about this kind of females, because these are the type of women that conceal their thoughtism. And I know that's not a word, but that's my word. Basically meaning you got thought qualities, okay? They have a lot of thoughtism even behind their degrees, behind their success. And believe it or not, all of them are not very easy to deal with. You have these type of women, highly educated, very attractive, got their business in order, financially not really wanting for anything, but behind all of that they have a lot of deep-rooted issues. I'm sure many of you have probably ran into women who are very beautiful, very attractive, seem like they got a lot going for themselves, but yet they're still single. They're still single because unfortunately when men deal with these kind of women, they really don't find out what's beneath the surface until they get deeply involved. Because again, these kind of women, they have all of these props. You know, they have a lot of props. You know, like when you go to a stage play, there's a lot of nice props on the stage to make the setting look real. Like they may have a window, or they may have you know, all type of props to make the whole scenery look different. You know, it could be a scene where there's a kitchen, they got a nice stove in there, they got a nice table, they got all of these things, but really it's still a plain ass stage, but they have these props that can make it look totally different than to the point where it doesn't look like a regular stage. It looks like you're actually within that setting, okay? And that's basically kind of what you're dealing with when you approach these kind of when you're dealing with these, you know, doing bad but bougie type of females. They got these props, meaning they got their degrees, they have their businesses, they have their professions, they have all of these wonderful things going for them. But when you remove all of these props and you have to deal with the real them, the personality, meaning the arrogantness, the nastiness, this whole persona of them, you just finding out, you know, as you get deeply involved with them, that dealing with them is just as complicated as dealing with Chinese algebra. There's a lot to deal with when you're dealing with these kind of women, and I'm gonna tell you why. For one, the majority of these women, they are very smart, but the problem is they're too smart for their own good. And then you have a lot of them which is called educated fools. Maybe smart when it comes to the books, but dumb as a doorknob when it comes to real life. They don't know how to really have solid, healthy relationships with men, know how to really build with men, because they have allowed their arrogance with their independency to cloud their judgment to the point to where they feel like they can mistreat men, talk to people any kind of way, mistreat people any kind of way. And they don't just do other men wrong, they do other black women wrong, especially black women who they feel like are beneath them and not on their level. I mean, some of my sisters out there may agree with me. I'm sure you work on a job where it's that one black female that has her stuff together, has a nice car, you know, she has a nice home, she has one of those top-notch high positions. She may be a director, an RN, a nurse director, you know. And in the midst of all that, she has a nasty, jacked up attitude to the point people can't stand working with her. You know, she basically is part of the bleach clique. You know, basically she only gets along with all the whites. She sucks up to them. She pretty much befriends them. She hangs out with the whites. Meanwhile, she's down on other black women that's on her level, and even some that's not, especially those that are not on their level, because she feels like, I got my degree, the rest of these low common denominator hoes, half of y'all got y'all y'all got y'all GED and your high school diploma, and y'all ain't really nothing. Basically, she looks at other black women too as failures. Like, she looks at other black men who may not be as successful as she is as failures. These type of women, all of us know one. We work with one. We got one in the family. You know, everybody has that one bougie ass black woman in her family, has all her degrees, has her nice home, thinks she's really too good to really hang out with family. You only see her once in a blue moon. She may come to a family reunion, but other than hanging out with family, being with family, she really ain't got time for that. You may even have one closer than that. Your sister may be doing bad but bougie type of female. Okay, we all have had some type of encounter with them. These kind of women, nobody really care to be around. Okay, and the thing is about it, you know what women like this don't understand. They think people automatically hating on them, like black men hating on me, and other black women, you know, black men hating on me because I'm making more money than him and I'm more successful than him, or other black women hating on me because I got a degree and she don't. What they're not realizing is that people are not hating on you because of your success, because of your accomplishments. If anything, people despise you, because the problem is women like this forget where the hell they come from. Okay, you forgot once upon a time, you know, you grew up in a household struggling where y'all all had to eat out the same cornbread pan together. Okay, Miss Girl, you didn't always have it like that. All right, before you got your degrees, before you got your own business or whatever it is you done accomplished, you wasn't always there. It took your so-called low common denominator family or friends to help you get there. That's what kills me about people who are successful. How quick they forget other people had to step in and be there for them, help them out. Somebody had to keep your kids while you went to college. You know, somebody in the family who was working at a grocery store or whatever had to lend you money for your school books. Somebody had to you know, pick you up in a hoopty or they broke down car to pick you up to and from school. What people don't realize is with success, you never earn it by yourself. It don't matter if you was the one that went to school, if you was the one that did all the studying, if you was the one that earned all the degrees. You did not get there by yourself. We all have had some type of help to get to where we are. Even myself with my second degree, my husband doesn't have any degrees. Okay, but let me tell you something. He is the reason. He's one of the reasons. For one, God first and foremost. I have to give credit to where it's due. I didn't get a degree by myself. It was God who gave me the strength and gave me the intelligence and to keep persevering and pushing through to get it. Secondly, you know, my mom, I definitely, you know, she supported me. She kept my daughter for me while I went to school and everything. And then my husband, like I said, he has no degrees. I was an at-home housewife for almost 8-9 years before I even got a job. So it was him. It took my husband being patient with me, not stressing me and about not working. You know, it's a lot of men that don't want their wives sitting at home. They want their wives to be hitting the time clock, be working and bringing in just as much money as they are. But I was blessed to have a husband who comes from the country. He's a country guy. You know, he don't really, you know, a woman not working has never been a big deal to him. But what I did was, instead of taking that time to just not do nothing, I went to school all of those years. So that way, as time got on, I was able to actually bring in as much fruit as he was bringing in. Okay, so yeah, I got all these degrees. You know, I'm on my second master's degree right now. But again, I didn't get it by myself. It took me getting support. That's what these bougie women are forgetting. None of these helpers did not get these degrees and did not get their own business by themselves. Believe me, somebody lent them some money to get started. Somebody co-sign on them alone. See, they're not going to tell you all of that. You know, they walk around with their chest poke out like they did it all by themselves, and it's a flat lie. It's a lie. Somebody had to keep their kids and all of that. And what happens is the majority of them, when they get up there, they start looking down on the ones who helped them to get to where they are. Like, are you really serious? You know, you got your degrees, you got your businesses. Now you don't have time for your sister who used to keep your kids. You don't have time for your brother, he probably, he locked up in jail or whatever for selling drugs, but when he was in the game, he was giving you money with his dope money for you to get school books, because he didn't want you to have to do what he did. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, y'all, it's always more to the story than what it looks like. People would sit up here in front and act like they always had it going on, act like they just always had it like that, and you look in the background and you find out it's all just a facade when you really get into the real deal and you really find out what the hell going on. Majority of them had to do all kind of scheme and stuff. If they didn't do it, they knew somebody who was helping them scheme to get to where they was going. You feel me? So, as I was saying, the problem is the majority of these women, they forget where the hell they come from, okay? So, again, dealing with these type of women, they are a piece of work, because, again, they allow their independency and their accomplishments to make them feel like they're better than everyone else. And what they find out in due time that, you may have the degrees, you may have the businesses, you may have all these connections, but at the same time, you find the majority of these women find themselves by themselves. Men cannot deal with them. People cannot deal with them because they have allowed their arrogance, they have allowed their independency to make them be difficult, to make them be obnoxious, to make them be nasty. And for all you independent women out there who are successful, first of all, let me commend you for your success, because I know a lot of black women, we don't give each other enough of props, okay? So before I go in on you, I'ma commend you, okay? Let me start by saying I appreciate your success, because a lot of black women, we don't get to that. A lot of us don't get blessed to be able to get to that point in life. Some of us have not made the best of decisions, have bogged ourselves down with responsibilities at a young age to where we set ourselves back from being able to promote ourselves to bigger and better things in life. But this is what you have to keep in mind, okay? Even though you made all these accomplishments and you were one of the few that didn't have to resort to living in the projects, didn't have to resort to having 8-9 baby daddies, all of that is wonderful and well, but what you have to realize is it's going to come a point, even with all your success and all your intelligence and all your independence, it's going to come a point when you're going to want something that your degrees can't get you, your money can't get you. And that's going to be real love. Because let's face it, ladies, I don't care how big and strong and independent you are, we all want to be loved. And I'm going to say something that make me lose some brownie points, but I'm not really buying too many of these women out here who are stating that they're happy to be alone. I'm happy I don't have nobody in my life. I'm happy to be by myself. I'm going to tell you why I'm having a hard time buying that. Because this is the way I look at it. I strongly believe, I look at things from a spiritual standpoint. If you're not a spiritual person at all, then you might not even want to waste your time viewing the rest of this video, okay? Because I understand some people don't believe in religion, don't believe in the Lord, and I respect your religion or your lack of religion. I mean, that's your choice. My thing is this. When God created Adam, Adam was by himself, okay? Adam needed a helpmate. So that's when Eve came along, okay? So basically, when God created man and woman, he created that man, that woman to have a man from the beginning, okay? So, and technically speaking, a woman was never truly designed to be by herself. She was not created to be alone. Now, I get it. A lot of women had to be by themselves, unfortunately, because they were in abusive relationships or just things were way beyond out of control to where they could not even try to salvage that relationship, and I get it. And I'm not saying you're less of a woman because you are alone. What I'm saying is God did not create women to be alone. He brought us here after he created that man, okay? So basically, I feel like women were not designed to really be by themselves. If you are by yourself, I'm sure you have your reasons. You don't have to come on here comment and saying, how dare you sit up here and say I got to have a man. You don't have to have a man, baby girl. But what I'm saying is, even with all your success, all your accomplishments, you're still going to feel empty somewhere. You're still going to feel like something is missing. No matter how much you try to convince yourself you are fine alone, you don't need anybody, or whatever the case is, that's going to always be a missing link that you may try to deny and act like it doesn't bother you, but internally it does, because women, we are designed to want love. God created us to want love, to be loved. Okay, that's just something that's been cemented in us from the day when woman was created, to be loved. That's why Adam was here first. Okay, so we were brought here for them to love us. Okay, it's unfortunate that this in day and age, not too many women are getting the love they should be getting. A lot of women are getting abused and manipulated, or whatever the case is. But I can't say it's all the man's fault. Some women put themselves in bad positions or whatever. But my thing is this: you're going to want someone to really care about you. After a while, all them degrees on the shelves is not going to mean nothing. All the red bottom shoes, all the Coach bags, all the Michael Kors bags, all the Prada bags, it's not going to mean nothing. It's an old saying that success ain't nothing if you don't have anybody to share it with. I've seen pretty successful women buy themselves the baddest dresses, the baddest shoes, live in the baddest houses, in the baddest communities. I mean, got stuff that'll put my married ass to shame. I'm serious. Okay, got nice stuff, but at the end of the day, none of that stuff can hold them. Okay, that Prada bag can't hold you. That Prada bag can't comfort you. That Prada bag can't talk to you. I see women like this who go out to clubs, go out to all of these functions with successful people, with these successful men, and still end up having to go home alone because they're not understanding. You made your life so consumed with your success and your accomplishments that you said the hell with everybody else. You made it all about you. And sometimes when you make it all about you, you end up with just you. That's just really the bottom line. What people have to realize is there's a balance to everything. Okay, you can't be too needy. If you're too needy, if you're the type of woman, you're too needy, and you always in a bind, you always need help. Of course, no man is not going to be bothered with you because you're always in need of something. Okay. However, if you're also one of those women who don't feel like you don't need a man at all, and you don't have a problem letting him know you don't need him, then guess what? He's not going to try to pursue you because you've already let him know he's not needed. Every man has to have a purpose. T.D. Jakes, Pastor T.D. Jakes says it all the time. A man has to feel needed, okay? And even though you may have some men that say, I don't want no woman always asking me for money and needing this and needing that, if they're in a position where that woman does not look for them to do anything, if he's a real man, because you got some low common denominator Negroes now, they'll let you do it all and they won't even complain, okay? They'll let you spend all your money, pay all the bills, and they'll lean and lamp around and enjoy the fruits like it's no problem. But a real man who's a provider, who's a family man, who's husband material, he wants to feel needed. He wants to know that you need him somewhere other than only having him in handy when you need his package. Okay, well, you need some stimulation. That man, if he's a real man and he's a relationship man and he wants love like you, he needs to know that you need him, that he has a purpose in your life other than when you need to get laid. Okay, so women like this again, a lot of them are not understanding that, their attitude with their success is the reason they can't get a relationship. A lot of them have learned a lot of themselves and convinced themselves that I can't get a man, I can't get in a relationship because I'm so successful, because I'm so independent, and men are threatened by that and they intimidated by the money I make. The majority of when I did a couple of interviews and I've even did research on statistics, and believe it or not, a lot of men don't have a problem with a woman that makes as much money as he does. If anything, anything, that's a help for him, because the more money that woman's bringing to the table, that's the less he feels like he has to do by himself. So ladies, you doing bad but bougie women who feel like, you know, you got so much going for yourself, a man can't handle your success, they can't handle your accomplishments. No, they can't handle your damn attitude. That's the problem. You have to let these men know, I always had it. I had it with you and I have it without you. Who wants to hear that? Put yourself in other people's shoes. If a man tells you, you know, I mean, I really don't, you know, I believe I like you and I have feelings for you, but at the same time, I really don't need you like that. I'm really not feeling you like that. You know, it'll come a point to where that man is going to feel, you know, you even going to feel insignificant. Like, why is he even in a relationship with me? Why is he even around me? You know what I mean? You're going to feel like ain't no point in you really being with him, because he's already letting you know he really don't need you. If people learn to put themselves in other people's shoes before they say what they say at their mouth, before they do what they do, this world would be so much easier. The problem is people will do things and say things and not give a second thought as to how that person is going to feel. And how that person is going to be affected by their actions. Okay, all it takes is just a few seconds to ask yourself, if this was done to me, how would I feel? Okay, again, some of these women who got all these accomplishments, they got a lot of issues. Okay, they have a lot of issues. Some of them are are narcissists. You know, some of them are you know, mentally you know, mentally and emotionally you know, insufficient. They really don't have all their ducks lined up in a row. And it's easy to overlook that because they're hiding it behind the success, behind the degrees, behind the accomplishments, behind the big bank accounts, behind the red bottoms, behind the Coach bags and the Prada bags, you know. And what these women got to realize is, even these type of women got to understand is, even with all your accomplishment, human beings are not accessories. Men are not accessories. Because what I notice, if you look at if you look at the majority of these reality shows, and I'm not going to say any names, but some of these women that are successful lawyers, some of them that are successful entrepreneurs, have all of these brands and all of these businesses and have all of these wonderful professional you know, accomplishments going for them. The majority of them are really a piece of work to deal with. They're not easy to get along with, for the simple fact that behind their success and everything, they have this attitude where they feel like because they have everything, they are automatically entitled. And I'm gonna tell you, black women, entitlement has a lot of us screwed up. A lot of us feel like because we got businesses, we have beauty, we have the body, all of these things that we feel like, you know, where we really got it going on, and we feel like we are entitled. I've heard women say, because of how I look, I should be married by now. I'm telling you, I heard women say it. I've heard women say, because of my body, because of my business, I should be able to have any man I want. And the problem is, the problem with this is that women, their accomplishments and their success, these doing bad but bougie women, the accomplishments and their success have got them so jaded, have got their thoughts in smoke screen. They have become so blinded that they really believe they should have a man on their side, just like they should have a pair of Versace shoes matching their Versace dress. They looking at husbands and children as an accessory. They look at men and children, families, or especially particularly men, they look at men as another accessory. Like that's just something else that should be added to their collection to make their image look good. The problem with these doing bad but bougie women is they have become more consumed with their image than their reality. Okay, they just really have it in their minds because I'm successful and I got all these degrees, or if I look good, I know I'm wife material. No, you're not, because you're a piece of work. You're difficult to deal with. Look at all these beautiful women on these reality shows that got nice bodies, and you see in good looks, and you see them all on social media, all on these vlogs. They with a different dude every other week. Because when these men behind the cameras, behind the success, when these men sit down and get to know them, the majority of them are airheads. The majority of them are just as belong on the slow bus. They're not that bright. Believe me, you can have degrees and you can have success and be just you and not be the brightest bulb on the chandelier. A lot of them are not that smart. Look at these reality shows. They sit up here and talk all big, sophisticated, and these big old homes, and they got all these projects and businesses and stuff going on. But men are coming and going in and out of them like a correctional state facility prison. They too much work. They complicated. You can't tell them nothing, because what people don't realize in a relationship, you're supposed to be told. You're supposed to have a partner to tell you what to do. That's how you grow. You're supposed to groom one another. These successful women, we got some white women, but you know, they're not as bad as we are. I hate to say it. Just black women, we got some bad attitudes, you know. They climb that ladder, and again, they don't feel like they need correction. In a relationship, you're supposed to correct your partner. That goes for man and woman. It's been times I had to tell my husband, that's not how you conduct business. That's not what you do. And even though he runs his own business and I never had a business, he's learned to take constructive criticism, like, well, you may have a point there. You know, I had to get on him about being late to his meetings. I'm like, that's not good. This is a brand. This is a business. You can't be, he was overbooking himself. You know, he was getting so much business to the point he was trying to grab everything, and he was losing doing that. And I had to tell him, you know, stop taking on more than you can handle. And he could have easily wrote me off and said, you never owned a business. You just a black woman. You don't know what you're talking about. Bitch, go sit down somewhere. You know, knock me down. And meanwhile, would have kept losing, not listening to me. But by him listening to me, he came back and said, you know what, you're right. I realized that I was taking on too much. It is easier when I do a little at a time. That's why I said, be more concerned with what a woman got in her head instead of what's on her head. Make sure you have a woman that's smart, that could sit down and let you know where you're going wrong, who can help you, who got a damn brain. Stop looking at what she look like. You know what I'm saying? Is she smart? You know, it's that same thing. These doing bad but bougie women, they don't want to listen to their husbands. They don't want to listen to somebody that actually can help them. Because they attitude is, I've been doing it all this time by myself. I got this started by myself. Who is you to come along and tell me what I need to work on, what I need to do? And they wonder why they by themselves. Because you make people who want to be there for you, who want to love you, who want to care about you, you shut them down the moment they try to give you some constructive criticism. And a lot of y'all bad and bougie women, you know, the majority of y'all didn't always feel beautiful. Y'all didn't always feel pretty. Way before you got to where you're going, you have had people that shot you down. Rather if it was people in your own family, rather if you was picked on in middle school, high school, where people told you, you too dark, you too light, you too fat, you not that pretty. Come on, we've all of us have been labeled that particular girl. I used to always be the forehead girl. I was always told my forehead was too big. I was called the cardboard girl. I didn't have a big enough chest. I mean, we all was labeled something. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all finally get to that moment in life where you have arrived and your head is so big you couldn't even fit through the first entrance in the Kroger's grocery store, supermarket. I mean, it's ridiculous. Some of y'all get up there and no one cannot tell y'all anything, you know, and you forget where the hell you come from. You know, again, women like this, they have made themselves to be a project to deal with, okay? So on that note, you know, I thought it was imperative that I shared this message with everyone and told everyone, you know, that it's imperative that even as women, even with all your success, even with all your accomplishments, you have to remember where you came from. Don't mistreat men who are trying to be there for you, who really care about you. So with that being said, this is your girl, Lady Mocha, and I'm signing off. And look out, I will be doing a part 2 very soon on doing Bad But Bougie. Have a wonderful day, and y'all take care.